General Hospital spoilers. Really out here stirring chaos again, but not the cheap kind, not just random drama for shock. This one, it's layered, messy, kind of uncomfortable if you actually think about it, and I did. Probably too much. Let me start with Jacinda, because everything kind of spirals out from her, whether people admit it or not. So they're saying she loves Michael, like really loves him. Not surface level, not just attraction, but the whole I see my future with you kind of thing. Marriage talk even floating around, which, hold on, pause right there. Marriage, that escalated fast, like blink, and suddenly we're talking vows and forever. And I'm sitting here like, okay, either this is real deep love or something else is being projected onto him. And I hate to say it like this, but sometimes when people come from a rough past, and yeah, Jacinda's past is, let's not pretend it's clean, they don't just want love, they want redemption. They want a reset button. They want someone who makes the past feel like it never happened. And Michael, he's kind of perfect for that role. Stable, respected, safe. He's like the human version of a clean slate. So yeah, I'm not fully convinced she's in love with him, like him, or if she's in love with what being with him means. And that's dangerous, because if you build love on that kind of foundation, it cracks eventually, always does. But then boom, Sasha comes back, and not quietly either. No slow reintroduction, no hey guys, I'm back energy, nah. She shows up with a whole child, Daisy. And I swear, the second that happened, I just kind of leaned back like, yeah, everything's about to go downhill from here. Because, let's be honest, the child changes the game completely. This ain't just about feelings anymore. This is about responsibility, connection, history, things that don't just disappear because you started dating someone new. And Daisy, she's the center of it all, even if nobody's acting like it yet. She's the one tying Michael and Sasha together in a way Jacinda can't compete with. Not really. And that's where the jealousy starts creeping in. Not loud at first. Not explosive. Just quiet, heavy, sitting in Sasha's chest like a weight she can't shake. And I get it. I really do. Imagine seeing the man who's connected to you forever through your child, moving on, smiling with someone else, building something new, like you were just a chapter he closed. That messes with you. It does. But here's the thing. And yeah, this is where people mess up in real life too. Just because you feel something doesn't mean you're right to act on it. Sasha's feelings, valid. What she's about to do with those feelings, yeah, that's where everything goes sideways. And then we got Willow. Man, this one kind of bothered me more than I expected, because on the surface, she looks calm, collected, maybe even reasonable. But if you pay attention, like really pay attention, she's playing a whole different game. She sees the tension. She sees Sasha's emotional state. She sees Jacinda as competition. And instead of stepping back or being honest or, I don't know, acting like a decent person, she decides to manipulate, and not in a loud, obvious way. Nah, this is quiet manipulation. The kind where you plant ideas in someone's head and let them think it was their idea. Jacinda is your enemy too. She doesn't deserve Michael. We're on the same side. Like, nah, that's not alliance. That's strategy. And I'm sitting here thinking, you really that desperate to win him back that you're willing to push someone else into making a mistake? Because let's call it what it is. Willow is setting a trap. If Sasha takes the bait and goes after Jacinda, Willow doesn't have to do anything. She just sits back and watches the fallout. And whichever one falls, she benefits. That's cold. Like, real cold. And can we talk about this whole Jacinda doesn't deserve Michael because of her past narrative? Because that right there, that's ugly. I don't care how you spin it. Yeah, Jacinda has a past. Yeah, she made choices. Yeah, people judge her for it. but using that as a weapon to disqualify her from love, that says more about Willow than it does about Jacinda. And this is where it gets kind of real for me, because this ain't just soap drama. People actually think like this. They hold someone's past over their head forever, like a permanent label, especially women. Men get redemption arcs, women get reminders, and Willow leaning into that, using it to manipulate Sasha, nah, that didn't sit right with me. Now Sasha, man, and this is where I start feeling conflicted, because I can see exactly how she ends up making the wrong move. She's emotional, vulnerable, feeling replaced, probably questioning her worth, and then someone comes along and hands her a simple explanation. Jacinda is the problem, and when you're hurting, you want a simple answer. You want someone to blame. It makes everything easier. So yeah, I can see Sasha believing it, holding on to it, letting it grow into anger. And anger, unchecked anger, that stuff builds pressure, and eventually it explodes. And that's what I think is coming. An attack. Maybe not planned, maybe not even fully intentional, just a moment where emotion takes over and logic disappears. And in that moment, everything changes. Because once you cross that line, you can't go back. And the crazy part is, that's exactly what Willow is counting on. Like, think about that. She's not just reacting to the situation. She's shaping it, pushing it toward a specific outcome. And the outcome is simple. Removi Jacinda. Remove Sasha. Leave herself as the last option. And yeah, that might work temporarily. But here's the thing people don't think about. If you win someone that way, what exactly did you win? A relationship built on manipulation? On other people's downfall? That's not stable. That's not real. That's fragile as hell. And Michael, bro, this man, I swear, he's like the center of the storm, but acting like he's just standing in light rain. And I don't even think he realizes how much his indecision is fueling all of this. Because let's be real, he hasn't clearly defined anything. Not with Jacinda, not with Sasha, not even with Willow. Everything's kinda vague, open-ended, emotionally messy. And when you leave things undefined like that, people fill in the gaps with their own feelings. Jacinda fills it with hope. Sasha fills it with pain. Willow fills it with opportunity. And suddenly you got three completely different narratives colliding around one guy who hasn't even picked a lane. And yeah, that's how chaos starts. And Daisy, so I keep coming back to her, because while all these adults are playing games, making moves, manipulating each other, she's just there, watching, absorbing, existing in the middle of it. And nobody's really thinking about what this environment does to a kid. Like, imagine growing up in that kind of tension, that kind of instability, where love feels conditional and relationships feel like battles. That stuff leaves marks. And I really wish someone in this story would pause and go, hey, maybe we need to not mess this up for her. But nah, that would be too logical. So yeah, where does this all go? Honestly, nowhere good. Jacinda, she might get hurt, emotionally or physically. And even if she survives the chaos, the judgment about her past, that's not going anywhere. She's going to have to face that head on eventually. Sasha, if she goes through with attacking Jacinda, she loses everything. Her credibility, her chance with Michael, maybe even her stability as a mother. One moment of anger can undo years of trying to rebuild yourself. Willow, she might win in the short term, but long term, nah. That kind of manipulation always comes back, always. People find out, truths surface, and when they do, it's ugly. Michael, he might end up alone. Not because nobody wanted him, but because he didn't take control of his own story. And Daisy, she's the one who pays for all of it. And here's the part where I kind of just sit back and think, because, yeah, this is a soap. It's supposed to be dramatic, exaggerated, chaotic, but the core of it, it's real. People do this stuff. They chase love for the wrong reasons. They let jealousy control them. They manipulate situations to get what they want. They avoid hard conversations until everything explodes. And then they act surprised when things fall apart. If there's any takeaway from all this, and yeah, I'm going to get a little serious for a second, it's this. You can't build something real on a foundation of insecurity, manipulation, and unresolved feelings. You just can't. It might look like it's working for a while, but it's not. It's just waiting to collapse. And also, you got to be honest with yourself about why you want someone. Is it love? Or is it fear of being alone? Is it connection? Or is it control? Because those things look similar at first, but they lead to very different endings. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe next week everything flips and we get a whole different angle. But right now, this storyline feels like it's heading towards something messy, uncomfortable, and kind of inevitable. And part of me is like, yeah, I don't want to see it happen. But the other part, I'm watching anyway.